I want to talk to you about story, narrative, your story. In particular, your story, my story, how we define ourselves really affects what can happen to us and through us. By our story, we know who we are, and this is a good thing, a bad thing. We all have our story. We tell our stories to ourselves and reinforce them as we go along. And you become your story. You make it up. Turns out we make it up all along. Even though we don't think we are, we're making it up. And then we can deliberately make it up if we choose to. And that becomes a skillful way of affecting your life. You're not just what you think happened to you, but you can also be what you wish to become, and you can adjust the storyline. It's powerful. One of the thoughts that really began to have experiential meaning in this event is essentially that there are four parts to your life. There's the child, there's the baby, there's the child, there's the adult, and then there's the seer, and it's a four-letter word. S-E-E-R, the seer, the one who sees. So I'll talk about the first three. They kind of cluster into almost everyone's in this room's experience. You start out as a child, and you have this fascination with the world. And many of you have seen babies, how they don't really get it, what's out here, right? If you've seen them, they're just like, whoa, everything's an amazing thing. And, the most expensive toy in the tin can have the same value to them. It's just like, oh, wow, look at that. And you bring something into view, and they know it's there, but you take it out of view, they don't know it's there. It's disappeared. It's gone. Their world is as it appears to them, right? You with me? Hopefully I won't have to go into that too much. They're just like, whoa, check it out. And it's fascinating. One of the great things about it is that they can be right here, and they turn over here, and all of that is gone, right? There's nothing over there. This is here. Oh my God, look, more, and that's gone, right? That's a child. That's a child's way of seeing the world. Fascinating. They are fascinated by the world because the world is gone, back. It's direct experience. That's all they got. They got no history. They don't have a story to go with it. They have not been trained, conditioned to believe a certain way of perceiving the world is more accurate than that. And that's what they see. And you begin to say, so I'm right here. This is me. This is me. And when I walk into a room, it didn't just appear, it was already there, and the room I left, it's still there. Yeah, they get kind of conditioned to seeing that. They can touch things, and they go, wow, look, my hands. These are my hands, and I touch this, and I know when it's going to happen. That's all kind of tidy, but then they become teenagers, and it becomes really important what other people think of them, so they are always asking, how am I doing? How am I doing? And it turns out, at this point, I should introduce this idea that Richard came here to introduce to all of us. Essentially, you have never seen your face. So if you think about that, you might have seen a picture, you might have seen a mirror, but on direct evidence, just direct evidence, like a baby, just direct evidence, you've never seen your face. The prophet of Headless Way is essentially from direct experience. You're not the product of a teenage life. Direct experience hasn't changed really from when you were a child. When you were a child, your direct experience was, I don't have a face, and when I turn this way, it appears, and when I turn this way, that disappears. That's your direct experience today. We are very conditioned to not be able to see that again, because we're stuck in this idea that this is me. So conditioned into this is me that I can hardly practice that, but with just a little effort, it can snap back into view, and you can look at the world from this way, and then you become headless. And Jesus says, unless you become like a child, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Or be ye perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. We go, oh man, there's a job. I got to be perfect and I got to be a child. How am I going to pull this off? Quit making it so hard. Try this. Ask yourself, can I see my face? No. So now look as a child looks at the world. And feel the world from a child's point of view. Be ye as a child. If you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, become bedazzled by the world out there. And realize that there's something to that is really amazing. Because as a child, you are God. When you close your eyes, the world disappears. Poof, just like that. And as God, let there be light, and there was light. A direct experience of the thing we say every Sunday, I and the Father are one. There's only one presence, one power. And it turns out that this ability to be childlike begins to take you back into the direct experience of life before you were conditioned that you were somebody. To the pre-adult state of you are somebody. And you become awareness itself, looking out from a very innocent place of being nobody. No face, no body. No head, no body. You are already the awareness that connects you with everything that is the beginning and the end of everything. You are always there, and you knew it as a baby, kind of didn't know it because you hadn't experienced the whole journey yet. But now as you get older, you go through the loss of innocence, the depths and the struggles of being an adult. You're in the I am somebody to the max. You're even going to therapy. And you go to church because you want to be good. You're here. All this is happening. And then at some point you recognize, hey, wait a minute, I had this all along. The very thing I was looking for was in my backpack and with me all the time. Rediscover it anew, fresh, like, oh, wow. I could add this into my repertoire of seeing, and the words of the saints and the sages might make more sense because they are dealing with direct experience and not just with conditioning. The moment and not to the conditioning. That's what Zen's about, right? To the moment, this, what do you have? This moment. And all I'm saying is if you get rid of your face, you can do it in this moment. Pretty simple, really.